Hi, we're now at the end of January and the end of Junk Journal January UK, which was the collaboration between the Vintage Button and Bee Happy Stationery. And I just wanted to do a quick flick through of what I did during the month of January. Now, I know a lot of people worked in their journals as they went, but for me it was more about building it and preparing it so that I can work in it throughout the year. So this is my front cover. My journal has 3 signatures inside. That's the spine and that's the back. Seals up with a belly band, which I used that really cute owl image upon that. So when you first open it, the kit is so beautiful that a lot of these I've left blank for the moment because I will be writing and adding to it. So I've just a half page there. You will see a lot of the kit as it was intended. This was the first thing I did, and it was intentions. And I made a little notebook to write my intentions for the year, basically. And then that flips up and there is room for another few little notes underneath. I have my little winter pocket here with a few tags in it. Oops, can't get it back in. There we go. And then a pocket on this side with a couple of journal cards made from pieces of the kit that were left over, and I cut it down. This was one of the prompts. This was snowflake, and I die cut some snowflakes and built them up like this and put some gems on them, and then did some little snowy dots in the background, some additional ones to what was already there. This one was balance. I went through over the background with a stencil, and then I went round the stenciled marks with a white gel pen and cut out and stuck down these and put some glittery pen on the little fairy girl there. This one was a folded prompt, and these pages fold back like so to reveal what's underneath, and they have blank on reverse for writing on. This is self-explanatory. This is an envelope and it has some journal cards inside. This was a piece that I had left over from one of the other kits from Bee Happy Stationery, and it was on my desk, and I just popped that on there with the fox on the front and then some tags tucked in the back of there. This one was contrast. This came in a parcel of things that somebody gifted me, and I thought it was so pretty, and it does kind of contrast with this. And then inside here I just tucked a little flip up and a little tag in there. I have a journal card tucked into that little pocket. This one, I think I might have thought that this was probably going to be the cozy prompt, but I never actually got around to sticking that in. And I just made a little notebook. There's a few sheets of notepaper on the back of that one. And I like that when you pull the tag out, there's still something of interest inside. Just a little mousey. I think he's so cute. And on a lot of these really cute animals, I went over at the eyes and in some cases the noses with glossy accents just to make them pop a little bit. This prompt was glow, so I used distress inks to darken the sky and then to have a moon with some glow on it, and there is a slight shimmer to that, but I don't think it'll show up on the camera. Just some plain pages. This one was timeless. I knew as soon as I saw that I wanted to do something with a clock face but no hands, and this is a stencil and it's one of my favourites actually. So I went over the background with some stamps in pumice stone ink, which is very close, as you can see, to the background colour, so it just gives a faint kind of texture to it. And then this half circle owl, I popped him in sideways as a centre of the clock, and I did that one in espresso distress ink. And then this other little owl image kind of hanging from the tree there. And I really quite like, it's one of my favourites, I quite like that. This one is Dream, and I got this cute little fairy girl. So I cut her out, I put some stickers and built up the background here. And I chose to put her here because she's looking over her shoulder. And I think this owl is a really kind of a dreamy owl. So I thought that worked out really well for that one. This is just a pocket with some tags in it. This one was Home. And unfortunately what I did here was, this side is open, and it should have been this side that was open. So that's not going to be an awful lot of use sticking things in there. But I have this little flip up as well, so you can hide things here or you can write things there. And I put lots of hearts because we all know home is where the heart is. This ended up being cosy because it's winter and she's wrapped up nice and warm, and she's got pie. And cosy and pie go well together. This one, I just loved these owls, and I wanted a little pull out, so this one has 2 layers that pull out like this for journaling, and I used a little, just a little gizmo from Tim Holtz to close that down. And then this one is just a pocket, and it has some snowy scenes tucked in there. This is my Whimsy. This is, it was a set of things, I can't remember where I got it from. And it had like bodies, and it also had animal heads, and it had bows. This was actually like a bow tie that I cut down and turned into wings. And I just thought that's kind of cute. This wasn't actually a prompt, but I cut some mushrooms from a different kit from Bee Happy Stationery. I made a little belly band, tucked a couple of tags behind it, and I used the hedgehogs to go with these hedgehogs that have the shiny eyes and nose. This was my mismatched page, which was my video that I did on the day with my shattered foxes on that side. This one was frosted, and I stamped with some sort of frosty blue ink on the background of here, likewise with this, and then just added a few bits of sparkles and things and some wintry tags. This one's Still Life. I just popped a bunny on a very, very still scene. Because to me, still life, when I was at school, still life was a bowl of fruit. And there was no way that was going in here. So I thought, well, you know, rabbits or hares, they sit for quite a while. So still life it is. This one I think speaks for itself. It's starry. So again, I used distress inks to do the background and added stars. Some were stencils, some were drawn. There's a couple of little stick-on ones. This is here purely because this required a lot of glue and it kind of showed through, so I popped that one on there. This was a lovely thing that Janette had in her arsenal of stuff and shared with us. And it was a nest, and I also got some odd bits of twine and I broke them down. I ran them through some ink and then I stuck them down in layers. This stands up quite high to build more depth for the nest. And then these are little lightweight art stones that I ran through different kinds of, I rolled them in different kinds of distress ink and popped them in as eggs in the nest. This one was slow, and the only connection to slow is that I did it very slowly. I thought about it, I took my time, and although there isn't anything too much on there, you know, I just sort of tore it out, inked it, played around with the composition a little bit, even though it is very simple. And it was slow and easy and very relaxing. On print, I thought about all the different things I could print, and then in the end I decided to go for jelly print. So this is 3 different layers through the same stencil, and the page that I did it on is the one with the tree and the slightly faded text at the top. So after I had printed it and it had dried, I went back over and picked out as much of the tree as I could with black pen, and then popped a little fox on the bottom. That is the other side of the jelly print, and the whole thing is hinged on with a piece of printed book page. This was my gilded page, which I think speaks for itself. All the edges, the page, the pocket, and these little things have got gold around them, and then I used some gilding flakes on the pocket and on the little tabs. Speaking of tabs, this was my tab prompt, and I split the page into 4, and then I split the images, so you have the same thing on this side, tabs with the hedgehogs on that side and owls on that side. I think then we have some plain pages that are still waiting for attention. This one is just a pocket, and I popped a nice little tag inside it. This was the favourite book or film, and I couldn't choose a favourite book, but I did a manuscript and some cut book pages and a quill and some ink, and I popped some glossy accents on the ink in the bottle and on the little puddle of ink by the quill. This one was shadow, and although obviously that doesn't directly reflect that, I think it shows that, you know, there's nothing to be feared in the shadows, and that the shadows can show us things that we may not otherwise see. Put some washi tape around the edges of it and down the side. This again is another pocket. This one opens. It's got a little tie on it, so you can pop things inside that. This was the forest, so I went over this with layers of green distress ink before I put all the stickers in, because that hides any gaps in the stickers. And then I had this cute little thing that looked like an explorer, so I popped him in there as well, even though it's more kind of jungle explorer than forest, but I thought it worked and I liked it. For silver, there's a lot of silver. There's silver dots, there's silver little bits stuck on there. It's edged with silver. The tree is outlined in silver, and my cute little mouse is on a silvery mat. That's as far as I got with that. And then at the end is just a little flip up for that one, because that page was spare and I didn't want to waste it. And then we come to the back, and on the back I have a pocket. I've just tucked a couple of things in just to show that. So I still have a lot of work to do in my journal throughout the year, but that's the basis of where I got to, and I really enjoyed it. And I'd like to thank everybody that was involved in Junk Journal January UK. It's been an absolute blast, and I've loved seeing what everybody else has done. And huge thanks to the designers of the featured kit, because it was an absolute pleasure to work with. Thanks very much. Bye for now.